Okay, so I want to do something a little bit different here. If you don't know me, my name is James. I also go by Jim, and I am an educator. I work at Bronx Community College, and I also host a podcast that I'm trying out and I'm learning and I'm doing. It's called Jim Nog Pod. That's JIMNOGPOD. And what I want to do in this video is to show you a free write that I did, and I'm thinking that I might try this just as a weekly activity. I took actually it's a little more than 10 minutes, maybe somewhere around 15 minutes to write on a given topic, and that's what free writing is. It's a way of writing as freely as possible by trying to forget about all the things that make writing not free, right? Which is like spelling and grammar and structure and having a thesis and all that kind of stuff. Free writing is a really good way to get your ideas out. Typically, you don't show people your free write, but there was something about the free write that I just did on this topic that I feel like it's shareable. I actually like the way that I wrote it. I might just post it on my blog. I will provide links for that. My website is jamesnoguera.com. Noguera is Noguera. So this topic is kind of silly. It's hopefully going to die soon as a news story, but I don't suspect that it will. So this is my take. This is what I actually think is important about the story, and it's short and it's sweet, and I hope that you enjoy it. I think I'm gonna read it. I could just sort of summarize what I wrote, but I think that it's one of my alarms. Sorry. But I think I'm gonna try it like this and see how it is, and then that way you can see what an actual free write looks like. I'm also going to try not to edit this. Free writes are not edited. I did edit a tiny bit, but I did that mostly because, the letters were typos, and I just wanted to make it more readable. But I literally wrote this a few minutes ago, and I barely touched it. So this is a real free write. It's right here on Microsoft Word. And let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know if you like this. I really like the idea of sort of just saying what I think and sparking conversation and spreading something useful. And so I try to take this story and see what is useful here. So this is what a free write looks like. I titled it The Slap Heard Round the World. So the slap, let's write about it. I kind of don't want to and do at the same time. It's too much on the socials, and what's there isn't what seems like what's important. It's mostly predictable stuff, like media outlets trying to milk the story for as much as it's worth. Will apologize to Rock? He does. Will Rock accept the apology? When will he, meaning Rock, break his silence? Now, the incident I don't think is particularly controversial to me. You can't hit people because they offend you. It's the law. I don't recall any particular outrage over assault laws. Right? This is something people seem to agree with. Most people seem to agree, at least when it comes to non-celebrities, that hitting people for what they say is wrong. Yet many online polls show Americans split almost right down the middle on who was more wrong. It's telling of what people think of violence. Most people, I'd assume, who would get slapped by a stranger for telling a joke would not like the experience, would probably call it assault, and think that that sort of thing shouldn't happen. Yet, when an A-plus celebrity like Will Smith, one of the richest actors in the world, slaps another, by the way, smaller, man, in seeming defense of his wife, it seems to some laudable. Twitter was filled with people either thanking Will or taking his side, as well as people condemning Will, and I think also there were some really funny memes, really funny and brutal memes on Will Smith. I actually like Will Smith, but I do think what he did was wrong. It's funny that Will himself stated in no uncertain terms his disapproval of violence and his embarrassment for his actions on Oscar night. So why the division? I think it's because of, for lack of a better term, cognitive sophistication. This is a term I came across recently. Some people confuse the fact that in the moment, to some, it felt like Will was right to feel the way he did. Let me just break off from the reading to just say, like, I sort of get it. I think what Will did was wrong, but I think that he, in his mind at least, right, if we give Smith the benefit of the doubt, probably thought that Rock was making fun of the fact that his wife was suffering from alopecia, and people get crazy when you sort of attack somebody who's suffering, right? But, and again, this stresses why it's important to give people the benefit of the doubt. Now, back to the reading. Turns out, at least according to Rock, that he did not know Jada had been suffering from alopecia. In turn, when we see someone, and this happens often in the movies, who we perceive as having ideal characteristics, someone we admire, say, like a hero in a movie or a megastar like Smith hits someone else, we perceive as not embodying such characteristics, say a small, awkward comedian with NVLD, that's nonverbal learning disorder. I think Rock recently, very recently, came out with acknowledging this neurodivergence. And especially after such a person slights the other, the noble person, right? This is, in the movie sense, this would be protagonist hits the antagonist, right? We see that as just. To put it plainly, and this is what I think is wrong here, we confuse the feeling with the action. Because we feel offended, or we feel the protagonist is offended, we feel that the subsequent action is equally justified. So in other words, you feel that you've been wronged, right? And maybe you feel outraged, maybe you feel outraged rightfully so, and you act on that emotion. Because that action is based on emotion that you feel is justified, some people are not able to distinguish like the feeling from the action, and to notice that you can be justified for something, for feeling something, and be unjustified for what you do. Anyway, back to the reading. It's what's so persuasive about revenge. As I've said before, revenge is a great way to feel justified when being a bad person. Rock's ticket sales for his comedy events have risen greatly. People admire Rock for taking it on the chin, for being the bigger man, if not literally. We beat bullies when we take the high road. I'm not saying that Smith is a bad guy. He's a bad boy. Okay, I apologize for that. That was a bad joke. He lost control in the moment. He thought he was doing the right thing. Many people would make the same mistake if they believed what Will believed. It was the easy thing to do. It was saving face. Do what's hard. I think we build a better world when we do. A world where you can tell a joke, something beginning with "I love you," but which, by the way, is how Chris Rock started the joke, and not fear a physical reaction. But hey, if you don't like what I have to say, I guess you can just hit me if that's what you think is right. I don't, and I wouldn't be the one going to jail. So that's what I think, and this is what a free write kind of looks like. I've been doing this for a while, and sure, I'd probably clean this up if I wanted to publish it, and I will do that. But I encourage you to try out this exercise, especially if you want to blog, or if you have like an essay if you're a student. This is a great way to start, and you don't have to show your free write to someone else. You typically shouldn't, because you want the free write to be free. But if after the free write you look over what you wrote and you think, yeah, I feel comfortable showing other people my awkward sentences like I have here, and like weird sentence structure and stuff like that, and sort of rambly sentences and ideas, then that can be a really educational experience. So with that said, I would like to thank you for watching, and peace.